Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning on WTMB. Again, Joe and Kim Palo, your host today on this middle of the week Wednesday. We are now joined by our friend, our Bradley County resident historian, Ron Moore. Don't forget, Ron and Debbie Moore.
Saturday mornings.
10
o'clock.
Home.
No.
Old. I always get it. I always switch it around. Come on. Old Town Cleveland. I don't know why I keep saying hometown Cleveland, because it's our hometown. But Old Town Cleveland on Whoop Radio 99.9 from 10 to 12 every Saturday. Ron and Debbie Moore have very interesting topics. Topic this Saturday will be
the Boys Club, the history of the Boys Club.
The history of the Boys Club, which has gone through lots of movement and through the years.
I'm looking forward to it too. You know, I think there's some anniversaries. I can't remember if it's 50 years here in Cleveland or what it is, but they've got a sort of a group formed together, sort of a foundation type thing too, to help make sure the Boys Club continues. So we look forward to talking to them.
Yeah, the Boys Club, and honestly, when we moved here, that was one of the first places I looked up because I wanted my kids to play ball. I coached football in Orlando, so I wanted to coach here, found out, and the Boys Club here at that time was thriving. And it was exciting to be a part of that at the beginning, and how it's, not the beginning, but back when I got involved in it, and just where it has come from that point to this. It's just exciting, and all the things they're doing. So it's a wonderful thing. Yes, Boys and Girls Club. That's right. Let's get that straight. But now today on Tennessee Valley this morning, what's our topic?
Okay, we're going to talk about. See if you know what this is. WINN.
EPESAUHAH. Winnipesaukah.
Lake Winnipesaukah.
Lake Winnie, as it's.
Yeah, you spell that back too?
W-I-N-N-Pesaukah.
W-I-N-N-I-E, Lake Winnie.
Lake Winnie, right. Lake Winnie.
The reason I brought it, it's this area here, and it has such a history. And if you grew up in Bradley County, Lake Winnie was the place to go when you were a younger kid, and still to a lot of people today, because it's still operating by the same family that started it.
No kidding.
The Dixon family. In the 1800s, basically, there were 36 springs located in that area down there, putting out 35,000 gallons of fresh water every hour. So,
wow.
Remember in the 1800s, you couldn't turn on the faucet. You had to live near water. So this was for the animals in the area. Of course, the Cherokee Indian and other Indian tribes that come through this area was a big place for them to camp and water. And it was on the halfway between Atlanta and Nashville. So for the white settlers came in, it was a pathway through there. Fresh water was important because you rode horses.
Mm-hmm.
So
they needed to drink.
That's right. So all that was very important. And then in 1863, a lot of the Union troops there, camped there, and the generals reported hearing the first shots fired from Chickamauga battlefield there at Lake Winnipesaukah, which is actually in Georgia, across the line down there. If you go to East Ridge, you go right across the line, and there I guess they call that Lafayette, Georgia.
Lafayette
or Lafayette. And several of the big generals camped there and then went on and fought in other great battles like the Chickamauga and went on to Atlanta. So that was very, very important. The Green family bought it in the 1800s, and it was called McAfee Springs. There's a lot of McAfees down at North Georgia, Hamilton County area. And it was then they dammed it up and made a large lake there. So it stayed the fishing club and a few other things. In 1924, Carl and Manette Dixon bought it. If you ever go where the boat chute is, there's a house right underneath there. They actually lived in the house. And some of the family, one of the grandmothers still lives there now, and the daughters, they had daughters, their family still operate the park today. But they lived right there on the place. And the first day of the park was 1925, and the boat chute, the famous boat chute, and there's not moccasins hanging out.
I know. I've heard that story.
Yeah, there is no moccasins. Well, but I'm sure there's snakes somewhere in that water, but there's not moccasins falling off the ceiling down into the boat, which has always been what every kid always thought about, going through the boat chute. And unless you had a girl, and then you probably wasn't thinking about moccasins.
Right. Unless they were on your feet.
On your feet, that's right. First it was a big swimming pool. They had a huge swimming pool there. And then on the lake, they had boat races, and you could rent fishing poles. And
When did they bring the carp in? 'Cause
They sort of come by themselves, I believe.
Hey, bless you, bless you.
But they started building little kiddie rides along the way, and man, I've got a timeline here. It's just amazing to go through all those years. And they had AAU swimming meets down there.
Wow.
They had a large skating ring at one time called the Casino. Some of the rides on there, the Flying Jenny is one of the rarest ones and only one operating in the country.
Okay.
That's the one that goes out over the water.
The what you call it, the carousel is a very old one, like a 1916. It was moved here from somewhere else, made by something other toboggan company. It's called, and they were the one who built the Cannonball.
Okay.
Later on, the
okay.
Cannonball was an all wooden thing. It's a minute and 37-second ride, I believe it is. It seems like forever. Most of it's going this, and then it goes about 50 miles an hour, and it's one of the few wooden roller coasters still left in America. So, and there's a
Joe's not getting on.
I don't do roller coasters.
Oh, it's pretty good. If you never rode the Cannonball, it's not as super high as some of those.
Right.
About a 70-foot drop, I believe, what it is. And it's when you come back into the station, I'd call it.
Right, that's the bump, bump, bump.
It's the scariest part because you come through here, and that last thing, it looks like your head is going to come off. On the okay, so you're ducking, and you're going. The first time I rode it, right after it was opened, was with a great uncle, my great uncle Charles, and he had to have a cigarette when he got off.
It was that good.
And had to lean on something. He was a little older, and it wasn't as thrilling. I said, "Let's go again." He says, "I've had enough."
I've had enough of that.
So,
See, now I agree with Uncle Charles though. Just to do that, I give him the kudos because I would say, look, Ronnie probably called you back then. Ronnie, you're going to have to go on by yourself, okay? Because Uncle Charles is going to sit and watch.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I could do.
He holds my purse and all the kids'
I
stuff.
do.
Well,
and we
I
do
don't
the
ride
rest.
roller coasters now for an obvious reason. When you're as tall as I am,
Your
they
head
put
could come off.
and they put those things over you, and they
Yeah.
cram my shoulders to here, and my knees are in my face. That is not comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's where we start the ride.
Right, that's before you
Now they're going to send me up and do all this. I'm going. As I get older, I like my lunch.
Make better decisions.
Right, right,
So
right.
yeah, I don't ride roller coasters anymore now
Yeah,
for
see.
other reasons. But they're just a great place, great family place. If you worked at Magic Shelf, which is now Whirlpool, went through all that, but Magic Shelf used to have their summer picnic for all their employees down there. And at one time Magic Shelf had 2,000 employees, and they would, you could bring your family, and the family could bring some friends, and they would have a huge barbecue. There are big tables and down there,
areas, yeah.
picnic areas down there, and they'd have barbecue and baked beans and coleslaw, and give you tickets to the whole park. And so I remember my wife's parents worked at Magic Shelf, so my wife and I went down there before she was my wife at that time, So, but it's just a great area. A lot of it's still original. They're still going. Oh, the golf course down there. It's the second miniature golf course in America.
Really?
The number one was Tom Thumb's in Chattanooga. So miniature golf actually got its creation in the Chattanooga
No
area.
kidding. That's another interesting thing that we didn't.
And
didn't
they
realize.
still have those those corporate
Yes, sure
things.
do.
They
Just
do.
not on that big of a scale. But a corporation that I worked for, we went every year,
Right.
And we would have the barbecue, and then we and did the rides, and they were very accommodating. It was for people with disabilities, mental and physical, and they were just wonderful, helping them on the rides and being accommodating to them. And it's really a great place. And they still have some pretty big headliners to come
Oh,
out
they
there
sure do.
and perform during the summer months.
Confederate Railroad, who plays every Labor Day, didn't get to play this Labor Day. It rained.
Right.
They were hired by the park long before they were famous, and
Okay.
now they come back every year
just-
and play. Confederate Railroad, which Danny Shirley lives here in Cleveland.
Right.
He sort of feels like he owes it to go back for them. They're playing about 180 dates a year now.
Wow.
So they're doing 3 shows a week still, traveling fairs and things. So they're down there, and but there've been all kind of great bands and entertainment through there. So just amazing the history. If you go down and look at the carousel and the old plaque on there, made by that toboggan company, I think it was 1916 when that particular carousel was made. It was put somewhere and it was moved down here in the early 30s or something of that nature. So a very historical place. The boat chute is one of the original boat chutes in America, that type of ride, and it's still operating in the very same location.
Well, I think what's wonderful is that obviously the community in the area supports Lake Winnie, because a lot of parks like that, mom and pop owned parks, didn't make it. And Lake Winnie is one that still thrives today with the same ownership, same family ownership, and the park just does get bigger and better. And I do know, didn't they renovate it a while back and they closed it down?
Yeah, they've
several times.
They've changed it over quite a few. They've added rides and different things. It used to, 30s and 40s, the rides were mobile. They would bring them in there, and then in the fall when it got cold here, they would go out where it was warmer, and they actually toured with those and done the little, I called it the parking lot tours and everything, but they haven't done that in many years now. But great place to have, great memories as a kid, and like I say, that's what we talk about all the time, like on our show on Saturday mornings, is where things used to be.
Right.
And
Exactly.
And everybody, you like it growing up. The good old days is the days that you grew up in, and we all strive to go back to that.
Oh yeah, and then we can't ever go back, but we can reminisce here.
Well, I'm going back now. I'm going back into my
Right, I do too. I go back and then I think, and get back to reality, Joe. But yeah, it's a great family fun park, and they're open through October, November. October.
They do
Lake Winnie Paspuka now.
Oh, okay.
They have a Halloween special that week, and they do put fishing line down like in the boat chute, so things will run over your face.
Right.
They do an all
You'll
kinds of
think
things.
it's the moccasins.
Yeah, so you think it's the water moccasins.
Right. Well, it's a lot of
and
fun.
And the carp are
obviously
still there, and you can still feed them popcorn.
Yeah, I know, and they're huge.
Yeah,
Those
and
are some
if you don't feed them popcorn, they crawl up onto the thing and take it out of your hand.
and they ask you, please, can I have some popcorn? That's how big they are.
Yeah.
But it is great fun to go out there. And if you haven't ever been to Lake Winnie, which I don't know anybody that's lived in this area that hasn't, but if you haven't, you're missing something.
And if you're my age now, if you're older and haven't been in years, you ought to go back. It will bring back fond memories, and the park looks smaller now to us adults. It's huge to a young person.
Kids,
Right.
But that was the biggest place in the world. Now this isn't so big. You can walk around this. This ain't like Disney where it takes you days to walk around.
Right.
This is a couple hours. It's an enjoyable place. It's
Yeah,
close by.
It is. And we appreciate you coming by and telling us about it. Of course, every Wednesday, Ron brings a little tidbit, a little morsel to let us reminisce and think about back in the old days, as they used to say.
And I look forward to seeing Karen Mills.
Yes, who is here? Who's here?
Karen, how are you?
We're going to talk to Karen, obviously, and Ron's probably one of the biggest Bradley fans there, so I know he's excited to get to hear a little bit about
Hootenanny shot. It was
the
called.
Hootenanny. There you go. There you go. But Karen is here, Ashley is here, and Ron, again, thank you so much for being here this morning. We're going to be back with more of Tennessee Valley this morning. After this, stay right where you are.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
How would you like to look and feel better? If so, then visit the Ford Center for Anti-Aging, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest. Dr. Ford has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding area since 1984. He is a licensed physician with the Board of Anti-Aging Medicine, offering affordable Botox injections. Botox is a medication that is used to treat dynamic wrinkles such as crow's feet, forehead lines, and frown lines. In addition to Botox therapy, rejuvenate and smooth wrinkled skin. The micro-laser peel treats skin conditions associated with aging and active lifestyles. If you're looking for safe and affordable anti-aging treatment, Ford Center for Anti-Aging at 423-614-0535, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest.
Now's your chance to showcase your small business products or services. The Be Your Own Boss Expo is coming to Bradley Square Mall in Cleveland, Tennessee on Saturday, September the 17th. This expo will provide you with networking opportunities and services to help you grow your small business. Vendors will be able to connect with hundreds of potential clients without the high expense of advertising. If you own a small business in or around Cleveland, Tennessee, you do not want to miss this event. For more information, visit byobexpo.net or call 865-368-1095.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television, Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley This Morning on WTMB. Joe and Kim Pala with you on this Wednesday. Of course, we are joined by Ashley Raburn of Cleveland State Community College. We're going to talk a little bit about social networking, but first, let's take a look at our local weather forecast. Jennifer will pop that up there so we can see how wrong I am once again, as it says mostly partly cloudy, and I'm saying partly sunny. Mostly cloudy she's got up there. There's going to be sunshine today. You watch. High of 67, low of 54. Tomorrow, cloudy skies with a high of 73, low of 53. And then for Friday, partly sunny skies, high 77, low 55. Currently, it's 7 o'clock and it's 59 degrees. Good morning. So, Ashley Raburn of Cleveland State Community College has joined us, and we appreciate you being with us this morning, bud. Ashley is a big part of WTMB. He helps us in a lot of the different shows that we do, directs and yells at us from the back what to do
Yells
and what
a
not
lot.
to do. Does yell a lot.
And do it,
A lot of
From the
shut
control
up.
room. Move on. So, but Ashley is an aficionado in social network. We say that because he does speak at local schools, and he's up on it, where some of us from another generation are still trying to climb up on it a little bit, having a problem, but he's here to help us out this morning. So, Ashley, thank you for being with us.
Yep.
And let's talk about social networking. First of all, very simple question here: the history of social network media. How did it all come about?
Well, if you look at it, it's it starts really early in the. If you look in the mid '90s, the internet was really a what I call, and other people call, a read-write web. So it was you read it or you created it. In terms that you created websites and things like that. And then in the late 90s and mid and early 2000s, it became more of a collaborative web, which was like the second iteration of the internet. So you had things like blogs where it was no longer just me saying something and you reading it. It was also me saying something and then you commenting on it and you participating in what was being created. So that's kind of how that came about, and then you had the advent of podcasting and things like that with blogs and wikis and all these.
What's a wiki?
New, wiki. Oh man, if you wouldn't have asked me, it's a Hawaiian word for like fast or something like that. Mm-hmm. And the other people watching are going to say, "Oh, you should know that," and I should know it. I'm just.
Well,
you said wiki.
A wiki is one of the, you create something. You're creating something collaboratively together. So if you hear Wikipedia, that is an encyclopedia that's created by masses of people.
Right.
Okay. So basically, after the internet got going, got formulated and working as it does, that's when the social media thing came into play, blogging and Facebooking.
Right, and all of those things are really part of that social web.
Right, and so Facebook kind of took over MySpace. Was MySpace first in a sense?
Well, MySpace was an early one. I mean, there's still a lot of other ones that were out around the same time. LiveJournal, which was kind of a social blog thing, and a lot of people still use LiveJournal. A lot of communities have built up around that. But yeah, MySpace was the big one, and then one day it just woke up and it wasn't anymore.
Right.
With the changing over of Facebook and things like that. Of course,
I see the
Facebook
Twitter.
started as for colleges,
Right.
and mainly just for
Right.
colleges, and then they went public, and that's when it went all blew up.
And
and
then
my
they
mother.
made a movie, and the guy stole everything.
Right.
It was a whole
And of
thing.
course, my mother, may she rest in peace, would always refer to it as, she combined them and called it Spacebook. It wasn't Facebook or MySpace, it was Spacebook.
Well, I like to say face space.
Face space is
Space.
good
She
too.
would do
Face
that
space
too.
is good. But how does that work? I mean, we were just talking before we went on. Kim's Facebook page, she gets friends that want to have her as a friend, and then when you join, everything they have on their Facebook comes to your Facebook. So how does all
It's
that
on
work?
my phone.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. That's what Facebook is. It's about collaboration. It's about communication. It's about understanding people. It's about relationships. It's no longer just about. It's not about. The internet now is about relationships, and there's so many. I mean, studies and things. It's a new society. It's
And
building
people
up.
have gotten mad at me about, you haven't responded to, and I've asked you to be a friend, and I don't even go on it, but like once a month, because I can't remember how to get to it first and foremostly. But then I even signed up for Twitter, but I have no idea.
Yeah,
what
Twittering
that
is a whole nother ball game.
Twitter is kind of like the mini blog, and you have 140 characters to write something. What you're doing, that's what they ask you. What are you doing? And that's what that is. Those 140 characters, and that's hard to get into. It's like, well, I can't say that in 140 characters, but you learn. You learn really quickly how to do it, and it's on the go. It's on the go blogging. So you've got your phone, you've got a computer. You can type, oh well, I'm on the morning show right now.
Right.
I could tweet right now and say, talking to Joe and Kim, and then if you had Twitters, I could link to you, and talking to.
But can I ask this question? I mean, is our society so looking for something to do that we're actually wanting to know that somebody is, I'm eating my lunch right now?
Well, it's not about that. This is something that I like. A friend of mine a while back was tweeting, saying, sitting down to a cup of my favorite tea from a particular tea company. And I go, oh, and the tea is called Constant Comment. Not to throw out anything, but that's part of the story. And so I said, oh, Constant Comment, that would be a great name for a blog. You want those constant comments. Okay, that's funny. And she said, oh yeah, we should ask this tea company that. So the next day, we get a retweet from that tea company saying, hey, that is the name of our blog. We're 60 years ahead of our time. That tea company has communicated with us at that point. And if that's marketing.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
if you're able to throw those have that kind of interaction with your customer base, it's the best kind of marketing. But on the other hand, it's at this point everyone is a marketer for your program for your product. So if I have a bad experience with something and I say,
Right.
This was a terrible thing, and if I have that experience, they will come back and everyone sees that, and then they could retweet that and say, "Oh, this person had a bad experience," and then the company's like, "Hey, So at this point, everyone's a marketer in this time of social media.
And that's what I caution our children so much, is that everything on the internet is not true. It doesn't have. There's no accountability. You can put anything pretty much out there that you want to, and you see that with the bullying of the the kids
Right.
and all the things. You can put stuff out there, and there's just no accountability to it. So it's got a great spin to it, but at the same time, you can get hurt. I mean, you get enough
Yeah, that's
people
true.
that that you've kind of ticked off. So Joe, don't speak to anyone.
I don't ever get on the computer to see what they say about me. So
Thank God, don't mess with it. Now, there's
Okay.
other things. Now I'm seeing other symbols that, I'm used to the Facebook and the little bird. And now I got this stupid phone that's, I'm sorry, it's a smartphone. But, and it's got all these other little symbols that I don't even know. So what's out there now that's new and available to people?
You've got the newest one right now is Google Plus. And it's actually, it's still kind of, we don't know what's going to happen. It had what they claimed to be the highest adoption rate of a social media platform when it came out. It was like 20 million people in a week or something like
Wow.
that. But what they didn't tell you is that, yes, they had the highest adoption, but or highest usage in the first week, but they were customers that they already had.
Right.
There were already people that were using Gmail.
Gmail.
And those kinds of things. So they just put those in. So they weren't really new users.
Right.
So it's interesting to see the way. So that's the newest one. And then you've got a lot of tools. You've got you might hear of like Foursquare. Foursquare is an app that interacts with Twitter and Facebook, and that you can tell where you're at. You know, oh, I just checked into WTMB and at this
Right.
show, or I'm at any number of restaurants or whatever. And then there's things and I don't do this very often. I've played with it, but there are websites that you sign up for, and then people give you what's called clout, Klout, and I just spelled that.
And you can't spell.
No, I can't spell. And people can give you this clout, and you get points, and then they send you things like physical things. You can get enough points to get things because you talk about a particular place, and you get clout for that place. Or
that's
it gets
pretty neat.
there's
I'm going to have to stop watching TV
Right.
and reading.
Too much reality shows. Well, let me ask you this.
I can't read.
I've noticed on lots of products now on the box.
Yeah.
There's that little weird looking black little
Scan thing.
scanning,
Right.
and some of
Scan
it
it.
says I talk, and it's like Facebook thing. And what's all that about?
Yeah, well, that's you can scan those things if you have a smartphone that
Right,
has the scanner
smartphone.
on it. You scan it, and it'll take you to their product website or their Facebook page or
Facebook
something
page,
like that.
usually. And they'll show it to you. It's a certain product that they're wanting, and it may
I
be
mean,
a coupon that
feel
they're
like you're
offering.
just.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just talking to us today about fire, because I'm like, what? I mean, it's
So
like,
there's a
look,
typewriter
if you
over
go
there.
like this and strike it, it's wow. I mean, yeah, I'm really at a loss because I don't do any of
He
that.
does none of it.
Okay,
None
and
of
not and I should, but I don't. And you know what I think it is I don't want to spend that much time sitting there like this.
You'd
I
rather
can't.
look at the Dolphin webpage and
I look at the Dolphin webpage and I'm good after that. 10 minutes and I'm good. I close it and I'm done. But I mean, to sit there and people do that constantly. Now, there are ball players that get in trouble for that. That do it during
let's talk
games.
about this, like Dolphins and things like that. I've met people in my hobbies, which is a lot different than the Dolphins, but British television. I'm a big British television buff, I guess. So I've made contacts all over the world through this kind of media, through Twitter. I have one friend that's an author, Adam Baker. He's from London, and I talk to him on a regular basis about things, and we've met through this kind of social media. It's really
It just
really
expands
cool.
your
Yeah, it
horizons.
expands, and I keep up. I have a lot of friends in Atlanta and in other places, and I keep up with them just like I would keep up with them if I saw them on a regular basis.
Right.
And it's a neat, different twist on things.
Well, and on my Facebook page, because it asks you all those things when you put your personal profile, and of course when it talks about sports and all, I had to put the Miami Dolphins in there if I don't, what's going to happen to me,
Right.
and all of that. So on my Facebook page, I get all this information
Right.
coming to me about the Dolphins, and I'm thinking, no, and so he doesn't even know.
Say what?
Yeah, all over my phone. He would
Well,
have it all over my phone.
And another thing, if you guys remember, obviously everyone remembers, but the storms a few months back, a lot of people were communicating and things through the social media, and they were saying, hey, we need help here. This group is going out and doing the chain gang thing, and they were recruiting people this way. They were sending out reports. The Bradley County
EMS.
were sending out reports, so we were keeping up on that. This weekend, the weather,
Right.
we were able to keep up with the weather and the situations and road closings and things like that
Right.
via social media. It's really good for things like churches. It's like, oh, well, we're not going to have service tonight.
right.
They can send that out. Of course, you have to be, part of that
Right,
to get that, and there would still need to be other ways to get there. to get that information.
Why I didn't go to church Sunday.
That was the reason. Nobody told me. Nobody told me it was happening.
Actually, we got to go.
Yeah, no
But
problem.
wait,
Thank
is there
you
any
so
is there
much.
anything folks out there watching can do to get started? What I mean, do they just need to do they need to talk to somebody?
Yeah,
They have
just
no idea?
just get out there and sign up
Yeah.
to these different social media sites, and
it's all safe and
it's
secure.
it's all secure. I mean,
And you can
be
set your own
safe.
privacy settings.
Yeah, you can set privacy settings. Just what I tell everyone in everything, the things I do is just play with it. You're not gonna hurt anything, pretty much.
That's
So,
that's a good thing,
Yeah.
and it is good to learn. It is. We're making fun, but it is good to get involved and learn. And of course, the internet is a great place to learn a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot from it. So I just Google what I want to know, and then I find out, and then I close it. That's it. I do that. But in any case, thank you so much for being with
Thank
us,
you,
Ashley.
Ashley,
All right.
so
We
much.
appreciate
Yeah.
it, and hopefully we'll have you back. We'll talk about this just a little bit more, and maybe you can help me out on how to do
Maybe Joe
what I
can
need
spend
to
an
do.
afternoon with you.
Right, one afternoon. That'll be fun. We're going to be back. We've got Karen Mills with us and more of Tennessee Valley this morning. Right after this, stay right where you are.